Lazevo likes to talk about life while he's shooting people in the face. Lazevo.
What is going on, everybody? It's Lazevo here, and I think it's time for another cool story, bro. I know it's kind of been a while since I've brought you guys one of these, and I was gonna try and do them like once a month. And I know there's been a lot of sub box issues, and I didn't want to put out, my next cool story and have a bunch of people miss it. So I figured I would wait a little bit. I don't know if they're fully fixed yet, but I think it's better. So I figured it's time for me to put out a cool story. I've been keeping like a little running list of what I'm going to talk about, and this is just one of the ideas that I have. So I'm kind of going to go through it. I was throwing it out there to some of my friends, and this is something that I think they might be interested in. So as you can tell by the title, this is going to be about the time I'm blaming aliens for the most serious car accident I've ever been in. So I kind of set it up for you. Basically, I was in college at the time. I was probably, I think I was like a junior in college, and I was just living in my fraternity house, just whatever, just living the college life. It was a good little time in my life there, a lot of fun. But one of the things that happened one night, I'm sitting in there, and I had a buddy, Hans, who was one of my real close friends, and this happened to be, I think it was just a weeknight. It was like a Wednesday night or something, and he wasn't feeling too well. So he was kind of under the weather, and it was a low key night. It was midweek. There was no party or anything going on. And so we were just hanging out, like watching movies, and he got to feeling to the point that he was like, you know what, I'm going to go get, I forget, he just wasn't, like I said, it was just under the weather. He wasn't feeling good. So he said, hey man, I need to go to the store. I'm going to get some drugs or something. You know what I mean? Like some, I don't know, Sudafed or something, you know what I mean? And he was like, do you want to ride with me? And I had nothing going on. And I was like, yeah, man, I'll ride up there with you. It's no big deal. And it was just a short ride. It's only 5-minute drive or something to the grocery store or whatever, the 24-hour place where he could pick something up. So so we roll up there, and whatever, we're kind of just whatever, chit-chatting, joking around. We get up to the store, and we get his drugs, his whatever it was, like I said, Sudafed or something, some shit like that. But we get his drugs, and on the way out, I noticed they got those little, cheap vending machines. I don't know if you guys ever get sucked into those, but I'm totally like, oh, sweet, like a giant bouncy ball, or like I need that jawbreaker that I can't even fit in my mouth. Like, whatever it is. That sounded really bad, but anyway. So I always get sucked into that. I'm like, oh, there's a temporary tattoo of like a dragon. I gotta have that. So whatever. I saw that they had these little like figurines in there, and like I had just happened to have like a quarter in my pocket. So I'm like, oh, I'm totally gonna buy one of these. So like I hit the thing, and it could have been a bunch of different little figure like things that came out, but what ended up coming out was this little green alien. It was like this little, about the size of your thumb, and it had like the typical alien, like big head and eyes and whatever. And so we were kind of laughing about it. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna put this on my desk, it's gonna be awesome. And so like I put the thing in my pocket, don't think too much of it, and we walk back to the car. We get in, and we were like mid conversation. So it was one of those things where we weren't really focusing on what we were doing. You're kind of zoned out, just talking. And I don't even remember what we were talking about. But so what I guess I should say, normally I always wear my seatbelt. I'd suggest that to anyone. If you don't, there's I'm an automotive engineer by degree, and there's enough data out there to say you're better off wearing your seatbelt than not. And it's a habit for me. I don't understand people that are like, I'm not doing that. I'd rather fly through the windshield, or if I'm gonna get in a car accident, just kill me. Like there's people that just like, you can't tell me what to do, like, and I'm like, okay, but it's it's like, it's weird that we have laws like that. Like, this is like how to be safe and protect yourself, and people are like, no, why are you telling me what to do? But anyway, I always wear my seatbelt, just without question. Always throw the thing on, never even think about it. Well, it's just so happened this time we were in mid conversation. I wasn't even thinking about it, and both me and him did not put on our seatbelts. So that's a key point of information coming up later, because we pull out of the parking lot, and there's like a little side street, and there's a stoplight there that's normally, you know, a regular stoplight, but at this time of night, you know, like I said, like 11:30, almost midnight, it turns to a blinking yellow in our direction, and the main highway through the town where I went to school goes the other direction. And I'm sorry, we had a blinking red, they had a blinking yellow. So, you know, it was our job to stop, and obviously the highway side, you know, goes through. And the speed limit, I think, there is 45, but most people do like 55 through there. It's kind of a, you know, there's not a lot around there other than like a Walmart and like the little store we went to. I think it was like a IGA or something. It was something like that. But like I said, we had the blinking red, so it was our job to stop. They had the blinking yellow, and I remember I was looking at him, and we pulled up to the blinking yellow, and we're blah 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 blah, just chit chatting away like a couple little schoolgirls, and I remember he did sort of a rolling stop, like I have that in my head, to where I know we at least slowed down. He didn't just like gun it through there, and we're laughing about something, and he takes off to go through the intersection, and I heard out of my right ear, I'm on the passenger side in the front seat, out of my right ear I hear like screeching tires, and I looked over in time to see like a Jeep Grand Cherokee coming at us. And when I say coming at us, it was probably maybe 20 feet away from us, 15, 20 feet. Like I could see the guy driving, and I remember his face, like his eyes were all big, and he had the brakes locked up, and he was coming right at my door. And I remember the only thing I can remember is saying, "Oh shit," and like I sort of turned, and I braced myself, like I just basically turned towards the driver, so I was kind of facing my buddy, and he tried to hit the accelerator to like get past it, and then there's sort of like a gap, because like the next thing I remember, I open my eyes, and we're on the side of, like, we're on the Ford Explorer that we're riding in is now laying on the driver's side, and we're skidding, like we're sliding through the intersection, and the window is like spider webbing, like I can see like it cracking, like slowly, like spider webbing, and there's sparks flying because I can see like we're scraping the metal as we're sliding through, and I'm laying on my buddy, like picture him laying on his left side, he was in the driver's seat, I was now onto his right side, and I'm laying there, and there's glass everywhere. I remember my window was all busted out, and it was sort of surreal because, like, I don't know if you get like that boost of adrenaline and time kind of slows down for you or what, but it was really weird feeling, because I know it all happened like in a split second, but it felt like it took 5 minutes, and everything was kind of in slow motion. And so we're sliding, and all of a sudden we come to a stop, and I remember you hear like the other guy, his airbag went off, the horn goes off, like I think that's just standard, like the horn goes off when your airbags deploy so that people can find you or know that there's a problem. And so I remember hearing the horn, and I'm laying there, and it's sort of like you're kind of in shock. You're just like, what happened? You know, I don't even know, like, all of a sudden, one second I was laughing, and the next second we got blasted by this Jeep, and I was just like, and as I'm laying there, you hear the fluid in the car, like all the oil and the coolant and the transmission fluid. It's sitting there, you kind of like gurgling. You get this real eerie sound, like blub, 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 blub. And you kind of smell stuff that's weird, like, you know, when oil hits like the hot exhaust manifold or something, it starts to burn. You get these weird smells, the tires that had locked up. I can remember all this like clear as day. And I remember kind of thinking, nobody had said a word, and I didn't know like if my buddy was okay. Like it was really like I was in a state of shock. And so I remember I looked over and I said, "Hans, are you okay?" And Hans said, "Yeah, I'm good." And like at that moment, my first reaction, I think I watched way too many action movies, but my first reaction was, "We got to get out of here. This car is going to explode." And I literally, like, in my panic, I thought the car was going to blow up like in a Schwarzenegger movie or something. I was like, "We got to get out of here." So I turned. My window was all busted out, but it's now like facing the sky, like my passenger side window. And I just popped out, I didn't even like check myself for injuries. I had no clue like if I was hurt or what was going on. But I popped out. I grabbed the edge of like the window frame and literally like flew out of that thing like I was Neo in the Matrix. Like I had so much adrenaline. I was just like, whoo. I pulled myself up, like I just threw myself. And the next thing I know, I'm like standing on the passenger side of the car, and I'm reaching my hand down for my buddy, and I yank him out of there. Like he grabs my hand, and I'm just like, we got to get out of here. It's going to blow. And I like yank him out of there. And people come running out of, there was a Pizza Hut on the corner, and I think people were like closing up the Pizza Hut or something, and they came running out like in their little like Pizza Hut aprons, like, oh my God, are you guys okay? And the dude that hit us, he kind of waddled out of his Jeep, and he had like a neck brace on already. Like I don't know if it was some kind of medical condition or like he came out of there, and I was like, oh God, I feel bad for this guy. He had like a neck brace, and I'm like, dude, I was like, is everybody okay? Are you guys okay? And I'm like checking myself for injuries. I got like scrapes and cuts, and it was just a really, really like surreal moment. Like, and I kind of looked in the car, and had I had my seatbelt on, I think I might have been crushed. Like the passenger side of the car was pushed in about halfway over the passenger seat. I'm pretty sure if I was trapped in there and not able to like fly over to my left onto my buddy, that I'd probably have like a broken hip or something. My buddy Hans thought, his first thought was, oh, I just killed my buddy, just killed my buddy LeBeau. He's laying on me, and he's dead. And he was like having all these thoughts, like, how am I going to explain this to his parents? And like, but that was his first thought. And then once we got out of the car and sort of calmed down, like he was just pissed because his car was just totally fucked. Like he just kept screaming. He was like, fuck. And the whole Explorer was bent like a banana laying on its side. And the cops showed up, and, he basically said, I can't believe you guys are okay. Like, someone just died last weekend at this intersection. Like, they got hit, and there was a huge, like, 30-foot drainage ditch to the left, and this one dude got hit and went off the side of the road over there, and, like, ended up not ending well for him. But, like, it's just amazing. Like, I think back on that moment, and it's like, you ever think, like you should have died, like, or something, you know what I mean? Like, somebody's looking out for you, like you had a little protection or a little help. Like that's the feeling that I had, like we should not have been okay. And I walked out of it with no injuries, but I fully expected it to say like Jeep backwards on my side, like the side of my back, because that's right where it hit me. Like I was bruised up, I was sore, and I had, like I said, I had cuts and stuff from the glass, but they weren't deep. I didn't need any stitches, and I didn't have any broken bones, so I pretty much took it like a champ. And but dude, it's scary. I don't know if you guys have been in a car accident. If you guys have any experience with like car accidents or anything, like, and you want to share your story, go ahead and put that in the comments and leave it in there, because I'd like to hear if somebody else has these same experiences. But I will say the one thing that was sort of reassuring for me is like the fact that I don't remember what happened right at that moment of impact. Like you hear stories like, oh, people are killed instantly in car accidents, and I think like, what would that be like? And from that experience, my conclusion is that I don't even remember. Like, I don't even remember what happened. So, like, I fully think if that were to happen and I were to die, like, I wouldn't even remember. And that would be it, just kind of like a blackout. Like, your body says, I'm shutting down, and you're not going to remember this in case it hurts or whatever. But, the reason I say that aliens did this is because that damn little alien that we bought, we swore it was a jinx. So for the next week, we proceeded to torture that thing. We burned it with the lighters. We, like, ripped its arms off, and then ultimately we cut its head off and buried it in the lawn at our fraternity house, never to be found again. So that thing was a curse, and fuck those little aliens, man. They're bad luck. But anyway, guys, that's my crazy almost dying in a car accident story. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I don't know if it's a cool story, but yeah, it's definitely wild. Something that I'll never forget, and so hopefully you guys like listening to that. Like I said, if you guys have anything you want to share, if that triggers anything, leave some comments and or send me a message or something. And hey, if you like the video, go ahead and click like for me, man. That would help out a lot. So that's it, guys. Thanks for listening, and stay tuned for more stuff from me coming up. Like I said, I'm going to try to do these about once a month, so that's going to be my goal. Anyway, thanks a lot, guys.